Hello YouTube, Aaron here with another one. A lot of work that I've been trying, thinking to do a lot of things. My internet online name isn't really the best name to be going by on the internet, although I do have my reasons for it. I don't actually game anymore. I'm not a GTA character, my name's Aaron. I'm living my life, you know, I'm not living two different lives. I only just go by the name on the internet. If anyone thinks it's a bit childish, then, you know, obviously can't really blame them for it, because it kind of is, and I've thought about that in the past as well. It's just something that I've gone by on the internet really to do my projects that I do for fun. Doesn't change the way that I live or anything. I really ain't making any money off of it, it's all for fun. I keep saying that in my last videos. I'm not going to go on about my PayPal link or anything like that. But for the last couple of weeks I've been trying to make my ISO creation tools, and I started off with a Qt6 application, and I just found that, you know, to be honest, I could make that a little bit better with some of the functions that I've added now into my script, but I wanted to move on to a script to make it more the Qt application was actually meant to be easier than a script. But now I'm feeling that maybe the script would be the first part to the application, so the next update to my application will be based on the script. The script will be the back end of the application, and we'll have the script and the application as one. Now, obviously, my script started off as Perl. It's in beta. It's not actually released yet. I can show some of it. So I've got I've got the script open. I want to remove the news, or maybe the news could be like my website that I've just updated with some information, which I'll get to in a minute. Not too sure if this is the best place to be putting my ugly face, but we'll put it here anyway. So basically, I've messaged GitLab, is it? I've arched Linux GitLab, sorry, because of kernel issues. I'm having loads of kernel issues. When you update to the kernel, it breaks loads of modules, which I've spoke to the Penguins developer today, because I'm all for making Penguins better, along with doing my missions at the same time. I'd like to see his work, because he got me pretty much where I was at the start. I want to make Penguins better, as well as, you know, venture along the Nile that I've gone down. I want to learn things myself as well and help him out. He doesn't mind. I mean, he does his own checks, whatever else. He's obviously a lot smarter than I am, because I'm only doing one distribution at the moment. Although I did try KD Neon, it wouldn't install, so I've got new methods for that. But I'm just focusing on Arch at the moment, although my script does currently say that, you know, it supports KD Neon. Doesn't actually say it on here, but if we I'll try to make it so that it's aliased to the bash. It's in the bash RC file, so it does actually say that I support KD Neon and Ubuntu, and I had a script for all of these three. It would have all worked for every single one of them, because the script itself is based on the kernel version, and as we know, Ubuntu, Debian and KD Neon, they all run on similar versions of the kernel, so it's all down to the kernel version. They all work the same files, same in the ISO. Arch is different, it works a little bit different, but it's all down to the ISOs. Maybe I've gave you a little bit of a clue to how I've worked out how to do what I'm doing and make this application, but yeah, I'm going to leave it at that really. I don't want to be saying too much of how to do what I'm doing, but basically certain ISOs are built different ways. Anyway, so I was sat there for 2 weeks building my Qt6 application, until the point where I updated, and then I went to make a backup, and when I went to install I was getting an rsync error with calamaris. And that's to do with the modules of the kernel not being built correctly. And then I thought, alright, so it's got to be something to do with my ISOs, let me try Arch install. Well, I've been trying Arch install now, I've probably done it the best part of 7 times, and that includes the fact that there's now a newer kernel that's just come out, and it's the exact same problem. So I'm getting a broken pipe error. It's saying error 70. I actually have a picture on my website, so if we go here, got loads of website stuff. That is the email actually. I did have the email just open, so I've sent it. As you can see, it's sent there. Can't really, you know, so this is what I sent. So I'm getting ZSTD, error 70, write error, cannot write block, broken pipe. on all kernels from Arch install, and that's obviously updating as well. That's the LTS, the hardened kernel, the Zen kernel, the normal kernel as we call it. And currently for the last 2 weeks I've been getting issues updating my respins to the newest kernels, and also building from Arch install. I used to use Penguin Eggs, but now I have my own ISO creation tools for Arch to clone my system with my own commands. It works, of course. I forked Penguin's Eggs, now I don't need Node.js or NPM. Node.js is basically like a Java TypeScript backend for Penguin's Eggs to allow it to run its commands. And you can, but it's a big language, and I did try to learn a bit of TypeScript. Not that I was going to make a TypeScript for my script, but I wanted to learn a bit of TypeScript because I'm all for learning different languages. Through a bot, I don't understand the languages. Without the bot, I guess I can understand how to edit files, but it's not the same as actually coding it myself. So anyway, I don't need Node.js or NPM or Penguin's Eggs. The latest kernel that worked for me would have been the 6.10.10 Zen 1-1. I'm a gamer, I like to use the Linux Zen on my respins, although I haven't been gaming for a while now. Really, I've had no motivation for it. All kernels from Arch install are broken as well, so it doesn't matter if you update it through an ISO or through Arch install. In fact, Arch install actually tells you the broken pipe, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I noticed the download error saying that the speed's dropped. So you download the package, you wouldn't see an issue, and then when it goes to install, that's when it says there's an issue with the package. And it's the same for Firefox and VTK, which is a package for virtualizing from your CPU. We can actually have a look at what this package is. So basically it's something to do with the display. Well, my internet isn't too good. I'm about to run out. I'm juicing my phone. Yeah, I think my phone just died. No. But getting on charge quick. Sorry people, at the end of the day I'm going to need internet whilst I'm doing this. So we've got VTK, we go to Arch, AUR, use the AUR, use chaotic AUR, which is going to be part of the new script that I'm building. It's actually on my Ventoy stick. So some of the new things, we've got the chaotic AUR set up, and this is basically so you can install the right packages for Calamares on Arch. But anyway, this package here is broken. Now this is software system for 3D computer graphics, image processing and virtualization, and that basically has broken Vert Manager in my new update. So if I update, I'm actually on my old Arch ISO version 1.1.3, and we can't see that or anything in the console because I don't actually update any of the Arch information, OS release or anything like that. This is just plain Jane Arch installed KDE Plasma 6.1, although 6.2 is apparently released. I don't know, I haven't really checked at the moment. When I last done a little update, I see a Firefox update, and that was before I fixed the kernel issues, which I'll talk about in a minute. So, about how to fix them. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of research, obviously. Some things have obviously just not been working. We'll go back to here. So I'll say a notice says download error after everything is installed. If I back up my system with Penguin's Eggs or my own tool, when I boot the ISO, Calamares gives the rsync error 11. Now this is due to because the modules for the kernel are not being built correctly, so it can't read the file system that is building with Calamares. So I build ext4 and it straight away pushes an error saying that it can't read the file system anymore. I've managed to get around that, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Obviously through trial and error. And this is due to the kernel not supporting the formats for the drives, like I just said, due to the installation issues of the kernel package itself. Also VTK had an error and Firefox. Now that's got nothing to do with these lot. I'm pretty sure them packages are built by the maintainers of Firefox and VTK themselves. But I'm going to put tell them these issues, because it might just be that there's a database issue with Arch themselves. Now I've always said in the past, don't rely on the middleman and rely on the main man, but at the moment the main man seems to be, faffing about, because it's been nearly 2.5 weeks I've been suffering with these issues, and it's not really looking good for myself going forward, or Arch, or anyone else, because obviously they're going to want to use their system and update. I mean, this works perfect. My version 1.13 is just perfect, and I will be building my next ISO off of this ISO with the latest and greatest kernel, so please wait for that update. Could it be, I've been trying to get Spitfire out as well, and I've been trying to get all of my Arch ISOs updated, and I was going to do KD Neon, but then that's when I failed. I was getting issues with the kernel. And no, Penguin's eggs broke, so I decided to make my QT6 application, which then I was building for a couple of weeks. By the time I wanted to release it and nearly had everything finished, I had best part of maybe 5 hours work left. I'd done an update, made a backup to check everything was working before I polished the application itself, and that's when I realised the kernel was broken. I just thought, right, I'm showing it on the internet now. People need to know that I've made what I've made and it works. So anyway, obviously that was because you couldn't install it in the past, in the versions before that. So anyway, could it be the worldwide server, worldwide mirrors that I use? Because I use worldwide mirrors when I set up my stuff, so it could be, you could be downloading from anywhere. Yeah, it's not just specific down to UK or America or anywhere else. It's everywhere. You know, I don't like to do favouritism. We're all here together. You know. So anyway, we've got to look out for each other. I've got to obviously focus on the fact that, you know, anyone in the world could be using it if they wanted to. Although, who am I to know that? I'm using it on Arch. You know, it can't be my internet because I'm using it daily, no issues. I'm in the UK on EE. It's the best phone connection you'll find, and that's well, in the UK, should I say, because I've pretty much been with every provider, and it all comes down to your area. But I can tell you now, you know, pretty much EE covers everywhere, and I've been everywhere basically. You might get a few areas where EE isn't supported, farmlands or whatever else, but 9 times out of 10. EE has proven me good from the time that I've been with them. I've only been with them probably the best part of 4 years now, if that. Please get back to me. Hopefully, you know, that we get this fixed soon, because, you know, I don't know who's downloading my ISOs, who wants information. I can't keep publishing information on my website. I ain't really got the time for it all the time, so I try and do videos and well, just try and stick to my work. You know, the best work is when you're not talking about it and it's out and it's plush and you've got something big to talk about as a group. Oh yeah, this has come out, wow, bloody hell, these new features, this has been fixed, that's been fixed. Yes, you know, I've got more to post on my website than, oh yeah, we've got this error here, we've got this error here. Although I want to keep people updated, and if you've got the kernel issue, then you're going to want to know about this. So I've made a new page on my website called ISO Creator News, and it gives you a little bit of information about my QT6 application, which obviously was rushed because of the fact that the kernel broke. And I just posted it up there to say, right, these features do work, but now we've got a kernel issue, and if you know how to fix it, then you can use my tool and it'll work. But anyway, so my ISO Creator version 103 works, but more work to be done. If we go on here, we can read it properly, because obviously that's website Creator. So my Arch ISO Creator version 103 works, but more work to be done. Please read the pling store info, as it's the most accurate information. I kind of rushed the project since the Arch kernel broke and I was annoyed. I just released version 103. So you can go here and you can actually just read the information from the pling store. This is what's stated. Please read this. All the information in the application and actually in the application files are all predated. The information on here is the correct information, and it clearly specifies, which is what you need to read correctly, is that once Calamized, this is the same with my script, yeah, so this application and my script are exactly the same. Once Calamized is installed and finished, do not reboot, close Calamized, and it's going to ask you to change your drive. Now with my application, I'm pretty sure you need to change the script, and it's a file called installsystem.shush, which is what it says here, right here. You need to change the line that says, you know, you're using basically a virtual machine, because I was at the time, and put it to your drive. So it could be /dev SDA2 or /dev SDA1 or whatever you set up with Canonize after it's finished. When you come to here, you're going to want to go to the drive that was created. It would be called root. You want to go to properties, and this is how you're going to find your drive. When you find your drive letter, /dev/sdb2, of course, you're going to know that that's the drive that you're going to want to select. So say I'm on this drive here now. If we go back here, if I'm on this drive now, it's only just been set up by Canonize, and you know this is the one that it's just been installed on. Then you're going to use this drive, and we're going to put this drive into that file where this option is available. Change it to what I have. And then let the additional script run. It's going to take 30 seconds of your time before you can reboot and everything will work perfectly fine. Now, being that this is in beta and we have got a huge notice here. If you get any issues, it's not down to me. This is all trial and error beta. Now, of course, I know the kernel has been causing lots of issues with some of these packages that are normally installed on my systems. And well, this new package that I'm going to talk about in a minute is what's resolving some of the kernel issues. Can't really resolve some of the issues that I'm getting with the applications. And we're talking about 16 minutes here. Anyway, so this is my Qt6 application, and we've got all these functions that do work. I'm not too sure if all the compression methods work, but they are definitely available, and I did have a fix for them, but working and things get removed with the bot and trial and error, whatever else. I know for a fact that some of these might not work, but max compression works. Anyway, you can edit your grub menu, like it says on here. Change the boot artwork. You can generate an init ramfs, copy VM liners, change your ISO Linux and grub config. Although your init ramfs and VM liners will generate anyway during the script process of creating a squishfs and ISO, so there's really no need to do that. But if you wanted to generate it, you could do that, and you could obviously rename it to something that you want it to be, and then change the grub config files to that init ramfs. So if you've got, say, normal Linux, you've got Linux LTS kernel. You've got the LTS kernel because you like long life support, yeah, and you feel that that's an incredibly stable kernel. Then you can use this kernel, and when you generate an init ramfs, of course, once you've generated it and everything is fine how you want it in the folder, you can then go on to, where are we, we're back here. You can then edit the ISO Linux and grub config to that file, to that LTS VM liners or init ramfs, so it boots from that file instead of what I set up, which is normally Linux Zen. Anyway, some of the functions on here, obviously, I've showed. And we've got my new console script. So you see that I opened it with the console. I typed in ISO creator. That's the plan, but I had an issue in a virtual machine. Of course, as well, if you download this off my source fork, because it currently is up there, even though it's in beta, it's not actually released. Really didn't want to be putting it on there, but I thought I'd put it on there anyway. So this isn't version 101. I'm going to be changing it to version 10. So it's not actually released yet. It's going to come out. It's built in CPP and Perl. Now, I had a lot of modules in my old version, and you had to install them modules. Now I've removed all of them. You don't need them. We're now running without any modules. So you can put this file on any Linux system that's running C++, and obviously Perl is like a main package of Linux, and it will just automatically run. You don't need to have Qt6 or any Perl modules or any Python modules or any other modules. All you need is the dependencies for the ISO creation scripts, and they are all provided within this script itself. And it will also install Canonize. So we've got like Canonize files, we've got the Canonize eggs, and this is the file that then you put in the ECT folder, and you can edit this. So you can change it so that the users, it's not users, it's not what we want to do. If you go to the settings, you can change the users so that it's hidden and it doesn't show users in Calamares, or you can put it back to normal, and then you can create a user, but the problem is that it will wipe all the information to do with the user that you already saved. So that's why I don't have the user set up. So it just install my already created user with the password 2024 if you've used any of my distributions in the past. But this will be one of the files that you will need when you're using Arch to make the Calamares work perfect, otherwise you'll get module errors. This contains the modules for Calamares to work perfect. And it's the only thing that's missing after you install this package. But to install this, you need to have chaotic AUR. You need to have this installed, which is why this is here in the first place. I'll most likely put that, disregard that. I'll most likely put that in the Calamares files as well, because to be honest, that is something that is needed. Now I've got KD Neon Calamares and some of the things that you need there as well. We've got the Ubuntu Calamares, which I haven't tested yet, so I need to see. We've got the Debian Calamares, which I still need to work out as well. We've got a file for the Bash RC, which will basically allow you to add this as an alias and to then open in the console. You can type in ISO creator and it'll just pop up my script. Well, that's the plan anyway. Like I said, I was having a few issues in the in a virtual machine with this process. So I can't remember what the problem was, but I need to do some tests, thorough tests, before I can say, right, I'm releasing. So anyway, once you type in ISO creator, you can pick a distribution, and we've got help commands, which are not currently shown, but the help commands will basically allow you to type either Arch, so the commands that you can type are either Arch, KD Neon, Ubuntu Noble, Debian, or you can type in activate Arch, activate KD Neon, activate Ubuntu Noble, and so forth. And then once you've activated, these are the commands that you can use depending on your distribution. So if you're on Arch, you're going to be able to type in deps and install all the dependencies for the ISO creator, and it also set up Calamares and everything else. That is the plan. Guided setup will basically tell you to configure your ISO Linux and your grub, and also change your grub artwork if you really want, which at the moment I'm using the new Reef. I like Reef, and which is why I'm using it now as my grub artwork, ISO Linux artwork. So I'll just show what Reef is for all those people that don't know what Reef is. It's KD Neon 6.2 artwork, what was meant to be out, and well, here we go. It is something I use in my system tool. If you know about my system tool, I've lost a lot of things, so I've got an empty drive now. I've lost every single piece of work I've ever done, apart from the 2 ISO scripts that I've got now, which is no good, but at the end of the day, we still have working projects, and if I'm going to be changing this at some point to a new layout, but these functions, they still work. And of course, I'm kind of gutted I've lost all of the work that I've done, but you know, evolution 2024, by the end of this year I want to be doing something else. I'm going to change the UI and add new functions basically. Anyway, yes, so if you want to update to the kernel, so if you're getting kernel issues when you're using my ISOs, if you download an old ISO that I've provided, such as version 1.13 of my Arch install, or any other one that was before anything that I've released in the last 2-3 weeks. So we're talking about Arch. If we go to Arch install, you want to go to the version before that was released last. You want to go to version 1.13. Now, I have said that, you know, 1.14 is stable, but basically 1.13, you're going to want to download that, and then you're going to want to install this after you've installed my system. Now once you've installed my system, you're going to want to block Firefox, and you're going to want to block VTK, because they're 2 packages that are currently broken. You don't want to update them, they're going to cause issues for any of the for Firefox, and also for Vert Manager. Anyway, once you've installed this, you can then update the kernel. Once you've updated the kernel, do a reboot, and then you can either make an ISO of my system using Penguin's X, or of the system using Penguin's X or my tool. And really and truly, that's only if you really want to, but the option is available. Everything will work and you should have no issues. That's what I'm doing anyway. And I just basically made a new ISO, and we're running it right now, and we can just show that I'm using the latest and greatest kernel, and we currently do have that package installed. In fact, I made an ISO. Let's go. Let's load an ISO. Should we just boot my latest ISO? So it's my world. We're going to see we're on the latest kernel. We're going to go install it. So do a little reboot. Why not? See, we've got the new grub artwork. Of course, I need to do some changes to do with some text and whatnot. So this is a CPP, a C++ and a Perl script now. So it's Perl and C++ built into one. No modules needed, really. That's what I'm happy about. I can't do this always. I'm doing it slowly but surely in my own time. I'm watching a lot of things and I'm trying to learn some new things. I get bored of this now because I've been doing it for nearly 2 years. But nothing's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. You know, I've been doing this for 2 years. It can be boring, but it is what I do. I'm not trying to make money off of it. I'm just doing it for fun. Money could help, but I'm not really trying to get money out of it. I'm doing it for myself and others and for fun. It's better than sitting there playing games, I believe. For my preference anyway. Because I'd rather not be sitting there playing games anymore. I used to play a lot of SimCity and Sims 4 and I used to play a lot of GTA, which got me into with GTA mods. I'm into simulation games. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but I actually downloaded a lot of simulation games. Car Mechanic Simulator, Bike Mechanic Simulator, Train Simulator. You've got that other train simulator. It's called what is it called? On the Rails. I like that one. Is it Off the Rails? On the Rails, something like that. It's on Steam. It was like I can't remember how much it was. It was like £30, was it? Oh, wow. Come on. It's just to prove that, you know, the package, the Linux Zen kernel is installed. Then we're going to want to do the other packages. Kernel modules hook. This is fairly new to me, so give me a minute. I'm still trying to learn this package myself since I figured it out today through a friend of mine. Thank you, Sebastian, if you're watching this. Was it kernel modules hook? And there we can see we got the kernel modules hook package installed as well, which is what helped me to install the latest kernel with no errors and figure out that this would install. So as stated on all of the new ISO creation scripts, my new ISOs now have a new installation method. So you would normally install it like you normally would with the installer on the installer.desktop on the desktop. And you're going to want to keep this here open because once Calamize is installed, you're going to then want to input the drive letter, like I said earlier, into the console. I'm going to try and get this as a dialog box without any modules, but to be honest, I think the best way is just stick to kernel, because once I start looking for dialog boxes or whatever else, it might ask for Q dialog box or is it K dialog box, which is then an additional package, and I don't really want to be putting too many dependencies just for the creation of a ISO. But anyway, I don't want to be going on too much. I'm just going to let the process of this work. Show you that it works. What else can I really talk about? So I want to plush up my distributions a little bit. I've been talking about that. I want to change the artwork of my installers. I've become a bit lazy. This is a project. It's not meant to be professional. It never really was going to be professional. I'm not a professional. So this is a made-at-home project. Of course, I know what I'm doing. We're getting errors with Arch. Arch is not meant to be stable, but it really has been for the last probably 6 months now. Obviously I had a few issues and I got back onto it. I had no issues whatsoever, and I've only just been smacked in the face with more issues. But at the end of the day, you know, I've got a new slogan for myself, and it's rock solid and forked. And well, most of my work is forked. My taskbar is my taskbar. I built it from hand, I can say that. But some of my projects are forked. So you know, a new slogan would be nice for my distributions, because at the end of the day they are respins and they are basically practically forked. So because of that, and that's why I think, you know, rock solid and forked is pretty much a good slogan for myself, which I thought about the other day talking to Sebastian, one of my good developer friends. And I've mainly got that kind of off of Artix. So if we go to Artix, because I actually make a respin of Artix, and they say that they're rock solid and stable with it. But the problem is, we've got no internet now. Thank you. Sorry. Sorry. Well, we're installing stuff anyway, and I'll get these issues all the time with this USB stick dongle. I've had this computer 7 years now. It's the only thing keeping me alive on here. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing anything Linux wise. She is, if we go system on R, she is an Intel i3 4170. It's probably about a £50 PC all rounder. Fairly old. We're running on the APU as well, of course. We've got a few cheap disk drives or whatever. What was we searching now? So I can't search Artix. Oh, we're on 27% anyway. This is just doing me head in. That don't want to work. Then we just use the USB. I've got a buzzing noise because of this wire. Sorry, people. I'm using a VGA basically, and that's what it is. But yeah, we want to let's get to Artix and see Artix's slogan. Artix Linux. What does Artix say? You see, Artix is a rolling release distribution based on Arch. It uses this, that, and the other. Well, which says rock solid? Is it Alpine? Is it Alpine? Packages, download. Well, they really ain't stable. They release in ISOs. Nothing's been updated since that day. I downloaded their system, their OpenRC ISO, and it's just full of bugs. It's just full of bugs. What they have released? Like, they've got a new ISO. Have they fixed their Wayland issues? Because that's what I had to fix for them. And yeah, we're still installing. So maybe Alpine had that slogan. Alpine had a slogan. Alpine Linux. They definitely had a slogan. Alpine is secure, lightweight. Something said rock solid and stable, and I just yeah. Trying to figure out what said it. It said that it forked the project. Yeah, it was a GitHub project. So there was a GitHub project on the internet, and it said that it was rock solid and stable, but basically it said that it said underneath that it was a fork of another project. And I just said to my mate Sebastian on Facebook, I was like, rock solid and forked with a funny face, because you know, of course it's a forked project. To say that it's rock solid and stable, it really is a bit of a push. Because you're forking someone else's project, mate. You can't say it's stable now. But yeah, you're doing someone else's work for them. Or just trying to blow them out of the water or whatever else. I don't know, whatever they had in mind. But to say that it's stable, I don't know. I mean, I try to be as stable as can be. That's why I post information and whatnot. But stable is as stable will be. You know, Arch is never going to be stable. I'm sorry, but as much as it has been for the last couple of months, these last couple of weeks have proven that it really isn't what it says it is. What it has been, should I say? Because I'm having so many issues. I'm not being able to release an ISO even after I wanted to, because there was a time where, you know, I was obviously focusing on code to do with my applications or whatever else, and then I wanted to publish an ISO, and that was when it was broken. I was like, you know what? Here, have my application. It's on the internet. It works. I'm the only one that does it. It's doing it. I don't see any other applications on the internet making ISO creator tools for Arch. You know, if you're going to do it, you're going to search up ISO creator Arch. We already know what's going to pop up, right? Arch install scripts. Everyone on the internet, hey, welcome, download my Arch install script, download my Arch install script, download my Arch install script. And you can install Arch using downloaded packages that are built into an ISO. Now with mine, of course, my script is based on Penguin-X, similar to Penguin-X, in fact. You clone a live system. And it can't get any easier, it really can't. So I'll do the process of creating an ISO just in a second, using my new script, which is being updated. I don't know how long it's going to take to get out. I've got no rush. I've got a life to live, things to do, tidy and eat me pasta with me sauce, which is what I normally eat, have a coffee or whatnot. Fag. So anyway. Come on, calamaris. It's going to throw me an error now, isn't it? Don't worry, I've tested it. It's stable. Anyway, so once it's done, you're going to want to close. It's going to say here, what is your drive? You're going to want to come to Dolphin when it does open. We got a new root drive. What does the root drive work on? We can see that it's mounted on the dev VDA 2. So if we actually copy that and just paste that into there, push enter, it's going to then run the additional script, which is basically building the kernel towards your UUID and that drive. So whatever UUID is on that drive, and obviously to set up the kernel to run that drive. I've tried to work out a process of fixing this, but for some reason I think I might just be doing something wrong. I keep saying that I'm not a genius, I'm working on it. I'm not trying to be a genius. I'm trying to know everything in the world. I'm just trying to have fun with it. So there is going to be, there is room for errors, should I say. Because like I said, I'm not professional. Anyway, thank you for using my script. I don't want to keep mentioning my hypothetical name. It is based on a character that's got nothing to do with me, but anyway, we've got a final script that's finished. Now you can reboot. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. How do I reboot? I'll just use the service menus for Dolphin to reboot, huh? Why not? Maybe not then. Maybe it don't want to work. What's going on? Anyway, that probably ain't going to work because I'm CH rooted or something or the other, but I'll do some more tests and probably fix that at a later date. If that still doesn't work when I reboot now, probably fix it. Anyway, this is the new boot artwork for all my Arch ISOs. I'm probably going to keep it to all of them. I like it. I think it's quite a nice touch. It don't matter what distribution you're on. I think it's quite a nice little grub artwork. With my Spitfire ISO, I actually built it with a fix for the Plymouth with my artwork, and that's when I had an issue, so which is why I haven't posted any ISOs to do with Spitfire. As you can see, we just installed the system with the latest kernel, and we're just loading in now. No, I don't think the alias works, so we could try the alias. I think it's installed. It might not be, but it might not actually be on here, to be honest. No, it won't. It won't be on here. That's down to the fact that obviously the files in here for the ISO script, as you can see, are the old versions, so the information is still saying some old bits and bobs and whatnot. There's no alias or anything like that. It's just pure basic information. It's useful in a way. And if we want to run the script, we come back end for the moment. We run it in the console and we type in activate arch. Well, if we type in arch, let me just show. If we type in arch, it's going to say this, and then we've got a menu so we can install the dependencies, guided setup like I said earlier, make a SquashFS, make an ISO or whatever. So depending on your distribution, you can type in arch, KD Neon or whatever else, and it'll bring you to the main menu, which is this. And if you type in number 2, then it's going to give you what I would normally have in my Qt6 application. So then you can show your system information, show information, tools and extras, which would then show you the different things. So we can also go back to the main menu and we'll go to the configuration options. Will show you this. So anyway, if we go here and we type in 0, should be able to get to the main menus. This will crash. I'm fully aware of this. I'm trying to fix it. Anyway, activate arch. You type in activate arch. You're going to want to click this little new spaceship sign. Activate arch. Now we've activated the arch command, so now it knows that we're running arch. If we type in activate KD Neon or Ubuntu, Debian, them commands there that are shown here. If we type in activate one of them, then it's going to activate the submenu for that distribution. So we've said arch. Now we can type in make SquashFS, and what that will do, SquashFS, that will then take you to the SquashFS submenu, which then you can create a SquashFS, type your password in. It might ask you to do it a second time later on down the line of this script, but the process works. So it's going to create a SquashFS of this live system. I'm not going to go through the full process of this. It can be quite long. Something else I want to talk about. So since we've got my system tool on here, if you're using one of my distributions and you notice the icon on the bottom is gone, and the icon normally looks like this. So with the files, GwenView, we actually want to open that with GwenView. I don't think it's going to open. It's running a bit slow because I am in a virtual machine. We're now cloning a system into the op folder where the application is, and then just after that it's going to make a SquashFS. So please bear with me. Now this script here is C++ and the main script is Perl, so that's what I've been using. That's what I've coded it for. So the main script, which is like a it's like a command script. So you type in a command that will then run a command against a file, and the file that it runs a command against is this bin file. So we come here, this bin file here called Arch Console, there will be one for KD Neon and everything else, has all the processes for the commands. So the commands itself are in this Perl script, which I've changed now to C++, funny enough, I think. Is it? So the Perl script now is in C++, and it basically wraps around the .bin file and runs a command to the bin file, which will then process the function for whatever you're doing, whether it's make a SquashFS, which is obviously another bin file, or make an ISO, which is within the console script itself. But anyway, if you have an issue with my distributions and this icon has changed over to whatever KD Neon has put it as now, then what you need to do is you need to come to the application directory where the icon is shown, change the name of the icon. So I've actually changed it now to we'll come out of this and we just show my new ISO of Mustang. Why not? And show what I mean. 103B. Same thing again, we used the console script. I actually removed penguins eggs from this script. So we've got the new artwork. I just pushed enter to skip the little process we had of entering twice. Just let that do its business, it might take a minute. So yeah, we got OpenRC cloned from my tool. I was quite happy. That was the process of working out what was wrong. Obviously we got some problems with the kernel, whatever else, because of this new thing going on with the kernel packages, but I've worked a fix for this. But yeah, anyway, I used the console script my console script to build this. So everything is exactly the same as what you just see in the Arch ISO that I had. Of course this is Arch, but this is Arch OpenRC. This is one of the fastest distributions I've built. Fast, just boots in. I actually want to be using this myself, so I'll be getting back onto this soon. I actually was using this myself, and I will be using this myself because I know this is incredibly stable, which is why I have certain applications to do certain functions. I've set it up for gamers and whatnot. You've got a full version, you've got a minimal version, you've got... Well, this is the full edition. So as you can see, the symbol in my new version is still the same, and that is because KD Neon changed the icon for KDRC, is it? The icon for KDRC, we can come in, we can have a look in the op folder and see it a lot faster. So this icon here, KRDC, you're gonna want to change the name of it. So if you change it to random icon. Random icon. You're going to want to change the name of it to random icon, and then in the virtual machine or whatever machine you're on, you can come here and you can change the icon to that new named icon. So you're going to want to go to the opt folder. Of course, if you're installed or on a virtual machine, you have to select the folder. Come here, go to this new named icon, the same icon, because this is the icon that's playing up. I know, I've tested. Then just click on the new named icon. So this one here is called applications icon. We're going to click on that, and that's what I've named it now. So if you do change that to that and do a new install, that's what it's going to be called. And we just do an apply and we do an OK, and the icon will work perfectly fine because the script to the icon is exactly the same. It's not being moved or anything. I'm not changing the layout of the application folder anymore. So the layout that I've got in the op folder, which is Arch System Tool, and the way that it is how I want it. Everything is going to be here. We've got no bash scripts that we don't need. We've got all of the icons and everything that, with work. Application backends, whatever else, they all work. We've got lots going on here. I want to rebuild this soon, but yeah, that's just to help that problem. Yeah, that's it really. So moving forward, I just wanted to talk about some of the issues that are causing problems with the kernel. If you want something stable, please don't go for my latest ISOs. They should have been in testing, I'll be honest with you, but go for a latest ISO, the one below the latest ISO that I've provided. There's only two of them, the Arch Install and Mustang. And then you're going to want to fix the kernel is to obviously install that package, which is the kernel modules hook. So install my old ISO, install this package here. It's a bit long-winded, I'm going to be doing this in my newer ISOs. But basically, you install this package. So version 1.15 of this will be this new update. 1.14 is broken basically. So anyway, even though you can install it, there's still some issues with it. Kernel modules hook. You're going to want to install this after installing 1.13. So you install this one here, 1.13. You're going to want to then install this. You're going to want to block Firefox and VTK because they're causing issues. Then, once this is installed, update the Linux kernel, whatever kernel you're on, Linux Zen, Linux LTS, Linux Hardened, normal Linux. Update the kernel after you install this package. Then you can reboot and everything should be fine. Because this here, what it does is uses some of the hooks from the old kernel, which are needed for the new that don't get transferred over, and fixes them problems. But that's it for me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it took so long. It's nearly 50 minutes long. I'm probably just going to sit there and do some research now. and try and fix my console screen. Yeah, thanks for watching. So bye from me, Aaron.